everyone, welcome back. This is Bev from Art by Bedell. It's nice to have you here with me today. Today I want to work on the back side of this page to my new nature journal that I'm working on, and I have 3 pieces, 3 hexagons, and from these hexagons I would like to make a belly band. So I have taken these and prior to this video, I have sprayed them with some peeled paint, distress ink, and some coffee. I am going to now go around the edges of them with some vintage photo and ink them up. From here, I would like to attach those to a bigger piece of paper, such as this. Get a little bit more substance behind our hexagon rather than just putting it directly on the handmade paper. And this is the paper we're using throughout the journal. So we're going to take and we're going to trim this down so it's the right height for us. And then we're going to ink up the edges of that. Now, then one of the other things I want to add to this is some paper ribbon that I have made. Right down along there. Since I have started this or ended this here, I don't want to start, I'll use this scrap for something else. But I want to go from top to bottom. And again, we have another seam here, so I'm just going to cut that there and just use that for whatever length that it is. So I have paper ribbon now that I want to add on here. I have my hexagons, and I do want those to overlap each other. So I'm going to glue those in place right now. So just along one edge, I'm going to add some glitter glue and put these together just like so. They will go in place like that. And I think I want this over top of it, not like this, because you won't see much of the ribbon if you do it like that. So these will go here and this will go here. Yes, I like that. I could tear off this piece of paper, which sometimes I do. I'm thinking I kind of like it on here. So let me ink up the edges and see what I think of it after that. I'm going to leave it. This is fairly wide, this is fairly wide, and I'm afraid if I take these 2 edges off, this is going to make this look too thin for our project. So I'm going to leave that like that. I need to do a little something to this. What I'm going to do is I am going to take my Versamark ink, my script stamp, and my white embossing, and I'm going to emboss this. Okay, and then I will heat this, and what I do is I start at the top, I work my way down it, and as it melts you will see it get shiny, and then you move your heat gun along so that you don't burn it. As you see, I didn't go down the center, and that's because it's not going to show. A little tip for you is that as you're heat embossing, when you start to see this shine up, and in this case, I also seen it to turn whiter. You want to move your heat. If you hold it in place too long, you have the chance of, 1, burning your paper or starting a fire, heaven forbid. And 2, you could have the embossing would start going the other direction. So what it does is it starts to melt and it raises up, and you have this little textured here. And if it heat it too long, then what it does is it flattens back out. It kind of ruins the effect of the embossing. So you don't want to hold it too long. Put this on here and see what we think now. Yes, that needed that little extra of something on there. I think I will, at this point, take this over to my sewing machine. I can sew up the middle of the 2 pieces because I want to have 2 tuck spots. And then I will take both of these and my page and I'll sew across the top and across the bottom. And what that's going to make is a pocket here for a belly band here opening and a belly band here. I could do 3 also if I wanted to. I don't think I will. I think that I'll keep it down to 2, and that's just a little less bulk to our journal by not adding the 3rd one. But if you want to add the 3rd one and your journal isn't going to be quite as bulky, then you go for it. You can have 1, 2, or 3. So I will be back when I get this done. All right, we have it all sewn onto our handmade paper, our page that's going to go into our journal. I did a little crazy stitching down through here to add some more interest. I like the embossing on here. I'm just liking how this is all coming together. So for behind here, I want to add a piece of stationery. I'm going to do that out of 8.5 by 11 piece of coffee stained copy paper. Too long here, so I need to trim that down just a little. There, it fits in there nicely now. All right, so what I decided to do was I'm going to glue this strip down on the inside. We're going to start with that. Oh, what side do we want? This side is prettier maybe. They're both pretty, but I like this side better, so I'm glad that flipped over on me. Now I can decide how wide I want this page to be in here. And I want it to go beyond our belly band by a little bit on both sides. So I think I'm going to bring this edge right to the edge of this paper that I put in, maybe just slightly beyond. So we have a page now that looks like this. So I could put something more down this edge, a piece of lace. That'll do it right there. Very nice. I do like that a lot. Let's add a little ink to the outside edge and call this piece of stationery done. Okay. And we'll slide that right underneath our belly band that's in the back. We'll slide that in just like this, and that looks pretty interesting. We'll want to peek and see what's underneath there. Now let's figure out something from under here. And again, maybe it could be another piece of stationery. Perfect. We can see the piece underneath. I like these little dots here. And we can journal on both sides. Let's ink up the edges of it. Now you could add more to this if you wanted, but I'm going to just let the paper speak for itself. I like that coffee stained paper with stencils. I like the design on it as far as having like a focal point or anything on it. Our focal point is going to be the journaling. So we're going to leave that as it is. Now, as we're talking about a focal point, I do want to do a cluster on top of this whole thing. I do have some pre-made pieces of snippets here. Whether one of those, though, maybe that's it, guys. Maybe we don't have to make anything. Maybe we already have something made. I found something else here that just might do it. We're going to take this snippet. Now, do we want it in the center? I don't think so. I think we want it down here. And I realize this already has like a focal point here, but we're going to add this fern on top. Because this has some ultra thick embossing powder on it, it's hard sometimes to get it to glue down. So I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue for this. I'll get some glue on all of these little leaves of our fern and put that in place right on top of our snippet like that. If we need a little label, we have this little label here. Let me cut that off. It says private collection on it. That's kind of cute. We also have these little labels here, dictionary labels. Let's put it on here. It is a nature journal, so I think I'll just go with the private collection label. Ink up around the edges of that. Actually, I'm going to use this 3-in-1 to put this on because I'm gluing on top of that ultra thick embossing enamel. So if you're wondering what ultra thick embossing enamel is, it is embossing powder that is clear. It is thicker, so when you put it on your whatever you're going to emboss, it leaves like a glass coating on it. Sometimes you have to do 2 or 3 layers, and I do that usually when it's hot. I'll take my Versamark, I'll ink up whatever I want to emboss with this ultra thick enamel, and I will put Versamark on it. I'll dip it down in my powders, and then I'll heat set it, and while it's still hot, I'll do that 2 more times, and then you get this really nice glassy look. And it's called Ultra Thick Embossing Enamel, UTEE. I am really liking this, right like that, yes. So I need to Go back to my tacky glue and do the center, just the center part of our snippet. When you make like your master boards or things that you have on hand, it's really nice for, like, here we didn't have to take the extra time to make a tag. We already had this made. So it's very handy to do like mass production, like for maybe a day or two, and get a bunch of things made ahead of time, and then you can just put them onto your journal pages or whatever you're working on, and it moves things along. It does save time. And keep pressing that down, and that, my friends, creates a double belly band for our page. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video once again, and you were inspired. And if you happen to make one of your own, please leave it in the comments below. And thank you for watching. You have a great day, and we shall see you again soon. Bye now.